Gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why some men over 60, guys with average incomes, gray hair, maybe even a few extra pounds, still have women leaning in, laughing at their jokes, and giving them that look, while others, no matter what they try, feel invisible? Most men believe you need money, status, or a young face to attract women. But the truth is, there's something far more powerful, something you already have but probably aren't using. And here's the kicker, it takes just 12 minutes a day to activate it. I'm Julia Rhodes, a sexual health specialist who spent over a decade working with men on confidence, vitality, and yes, their magnetism with women. And what I'm about to share isn't theory. It's what I teach my clients, and it's rooted in how female attraction actually works, not how you think it works. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact practice that shifts the energy so women start noticing you, instead of the other way around. Now, here's the lie that the society has sold to you. You're over 60, so women only want younger men. Game over. Unless you've got a Ferrari and a fat wallet, that's complete garbage. I've worked with men in their 70s who have vibrant, successful women in their 40s and 50s pursuing them. Not because they look 30 again, but because they've cracked the code on something younger men simply cannot fake. The dating industry keeps pushing this false story because it sells products, expensive clothes, hair transplants, anti-aging creams. But attraction isn't about looking 35 again. Women aren't starving for youth, they're starving for something deeper. And while most men over 60 are scrambling to compete with younger guys on their terms, the men who truly win are playing an entirely different game. They're leveraging the one quality younger men can't replicate no matter how hard they try. And that's where my work in sexual health and male confidence comes together perfectly. Because attraction at your age isn't biological, it's psychological. So let's break down the 5 core mistakes most men over 60 make. And then I'll give you the one shift that flips everything. Mistake number 1, chasing validation instead of living in contentment. You see, most men operate from this broken equation. If she likes me, then I'll feel good about myself. But women can smell that desperation before you even open your mouth. It's in your body language, the way you hover, the way you over-explain, the way you try just a little too hard. Here's what's happening in her brain when she senses neediness. Her nervous system flags you as unsafe, not physically unsafe, emotionally unsafe. She thinks, if I validate this man, he'll latch on. If I don't, he'll crumble. Either way, she's now responsible for your emotional state, and that feels exhausting before the conversation even starts. Women don't want to carry the weight of proving your worth. They want to discover a man who already knows his, which leads directly into the second mistake most men make. Mistake number 2, competing on the wrong battlefield. Now, you cannot beat a 35-year-old at looking like a 35-year-old. That's his territory, his game, and if you try to play there, you'll lose every single time. But here's what he can't touch: the wisdom you carry, the groundedness, the calm that comes from weathering decades of life and coming out standing. When you walk into a room without that frantic energy younger men bring, something shifts in the air. Women feel it. Their nervous systems literally calm down in your presence. Younger guys are often wound tight, proving, performing, posturing. But you've already been through the fire. You don't need to prove anything. And that steadiness is magnetic in ways youth simply can't replicate. She leans into you because around you she can finally exhale. But even if you've got that calm presence nailed, most men torpedo themselves with a third mistake. Mistake number 3, believing women want youth over maturity. Okay, here's the raw truth from a woman who talks to other women. We are drowning in immature men at every age. Men who can't handle conflict, who ghost when things get real, who need constant reassurance, who make everything about them. Women aren't looking for another boy to mother. They're looking for a man who can hold space, who doesn't fall apart when life gets messy, who shows up consistently without drama. Maturity signals something primal, stability. It tells her nervous system, this man won't abandon me when things get hard. And when a woman feels that kind of safety, she opens, she softens, she becomes more affectionate, more respectful, and more present. That's not manipulation. That's basic human psychology. Which brings us to the 4th mistake, and this is where most men sabotage themselves without even realizing it. Mistake number 4, performing instead of being present. You see, you don't need to entertain a woman like some dancing monkey. You don't need to be witty every second or fill every silence with impressive stories about your career. In fact, the moment you stop performing and just exist, relaxed, grounded, comfortable in your own skin, you become 10 times more attractive. Here's why. When you're performing, you're tense. Your body language screams, please like me, please approve of me. And that tension is contagious. She feels it and mirrors it back. But when you're genuinely at ease, when you're not attached to impressing her or getting her approval, something shifts. Her cortisol drops, her guard comes down, and the conversation flows instead of feeling like an audition. She walks away thinking, that was easy. That felt good. And that's what brings her back. But here's the big one. The mistake that separates men who attract from men who chase. Mistake number 5, ignoring the power of outcome independence. Now, this is the secret weapon, and most men never discover it. Outcome independence means you're not trying to get anything from a woman. You're genuinely content whether she's interested or not. You enjoy the conversation for what it is without needing it to go anywhere. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop needing something from her, she starts wanting to give it to you. Think about every man she's ever dated. Every single one wanted something: attention, validation, sex, her time, her approval. But when you show up fully at peace, whether she says yes or no, whether she gives you her number or walks away, that is irresistible because it's so rare. She's never experienced it before. So how do you actually build this kind of presence? I call it the Indifference Activation Protocol, a daily 12-minute practice that rewires your brain to embody outcome independence naturally. Here's how it works. Step 1, 3 minutes of contentment. Close your eyes, breathe, and rehearse being deeply satisfied with your life exactly as it is right now. No woman needed, no relationship required, just you, whole and complete. Don't fake this. Actually feel it. Your life has value. You've built things. You've loved people. You've survived losses. You're already enough. Step 2, 4 minutes of visualization. Now, imagine yourself in conversation with an attractive woman. But here's the key. You have zero agenda. You're not pushing for her number. You're not hoping she likes you. You're just enjoying the moment. See yourself relaxed, grounded, smiling not because you're trying to charm her, but because you're genuinely present. Step 3, 5 minutes of self-worth reinforcement. Remind yourself of your wins, not to brag or perform, but to genuinely own your journey, your career, the obstacles you've overcome, the people you've supported, the wisdom you've earned. Feel the pride in who you've become. Let it settle into your bones, and do this every morning for 12 minutes. That's it. And watch what happens. Women will start noticing you, not because you're chasing them, but because you've stopped. One of my clients, Richard, 66, from Texas, practiced this for 2 weeks. At a charity event, instead of working the room, he just enjoyed the art and his drink. A woman 15 years younger approached him. They talked for over an hour. She gave him her number without him asking. He told me later, "Julia, I wasn't even trying. That's what made it work." Exactly. Now, I'd go much deeper into the body language cues and presence techniques that amplify this, but platforms flag that as manipulation tactics, even though it's just understanding psychology. If you want the uncensored version, how to read her signals, the exact energy shifts that make people notice you the moment you walk in, I cover that every week in my newsletter. It's free, and the link's pinned in the description and the first comment. And if you're finding value here, hit that subscribe button so you catch the next videos on confidence and presence for men over 60. Listen, you don't need expensive clothes. You don't need wealth. You don't need to act young. What women crave most, you already have. Experience, self-awareness, the ability to stay steady when everything around you is chaos. Age isn't your weakness, it's your advantage. So here's my challenge. Starting tomorrow, give yourself 12 minutes for this practice. Just 12 minutes, less time than your morning coffee, and notice how the world shifts, how people treat you differently, how women lean in because you've stopped chasing and started embodying. You're not too old, you're not invisible, you're one shift away from magnetic. Now tell me, what's your biggest challenge when it comes to confidence with women at this stage of life? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone, and your struggles shape what I create next. And for weekly strategies on confidence, vitality, and presence that work for men over 60, join my newsletter. Links in the description and the first comment. Stay strong, stay present. I'm Julia Rhodes, and I'll see you in the next one.